Hello viewers, Joe Tactics here, and today I'll be showing you guys Instant Wire. Instant Wire is absolutely awesome. It can be used to transfer a signal from one place to another. They can be infinitely spread apart, but it will keep the instant signal. Okay, so it won't take any time to transfer the signal in terms of redstone. But I have an example here, but I've modified it so that it takes 2 ticks. It still works by the same principle as Instant Wire, but I had to make it take 2 ticks or else it doesn't really work. So we have a lever here, and the way this works is it's going to invert the signal and then invert it again into this lamp, which double inversion just adds 2 ticks, and then we have an inversion here, goes through all these pistons, and then it comes on back and it goes and inverts again. So you would think that the signal that has to travel through all these pistons and back will actually take more time. But if we watch the lamps, we find that that is completely not true. They activate at the exact same time, and if you didn't see why, then here's why. Watch all of these pistons at the same time. See, they all retracted at the same time. How does that work? Well, we're going to go back here and explore it. And I don't want to wait for this, so we'll just have that work while we're demonstrating this. So, now, if we put a lever here and activate this piston, it looks like it takes time to expand, and it does. Clearly, I mean, when I flick this lever, it takes time for this, and for this it's instant. But, if I put redstone wire here, and redstone wire here, and then I flick it on, this will turn on the exact moment this turns off when I flick it back. Watch. So, yeah. In the terms of redstone, this happened instantly. So, it may not look like it, but it did. So, the way I can prove this is I'm going to actually go back over here to this. So, as you can see, basically, I've just connected a whole bunch of pistons up to each other, and this redstone block is powering the next piston and the next, and it just keeps on going over here. And then it powers this piston. So watch this. I'm going to put a block here with a lever, and as soon as I flick this lever off, actually I want to move it over here. Okay, so as soon as I flick this lever off, that piston's going to go down. Wow, that was fast. That happened as if it was right next to it. Well, in terms of redstone, technically, it could have been right next to it and had the same time. So I could have done this and had the same time. These would have pushed up at the same time, even though this one traveled through how many pistons? A lot. Well, the trick to this is they do retract instantaneously. So they'll all retract at the same time, causing this wire to update just as if this piston was right by this lever, like this one. So that's why it works. Now, how do we actually hook it up and make it applicable to whatever we want to? So there's a problem with this. If you haven't noticed it, it's that if I turn the lever on, the output is going to be off. That's a problem. So what we want to do is we need to invert the output and the input. So here's our input. We're going to invert that, lead it into this. Alright, and now we want to invert our output. Just like that. Okay, actually, we don't invert the output, so we're going to bring it back. All we have to do is invert the input, and then when we flick this on, this turns on, right? And then we flick it back up. It's going to take some time to turn off, because if we go back here, I can clearly prove to you that it will not turn off as fast as it turned on. This one is going to create, this one's just going to turn off with 2 ticks, and this one is going to take time, because the pistons take time to expand, not retract. So watch this. So as you can see, it took more time to turn off. Now, if you want it to turn on instantly, or within 2 ticks, then you can use Instant Wire, but it will also have a drawback in that it takes twice as long than normal repeater use to shut off. So it all depends on what you want. So if we go over here, I've demonstrated to you how you can actually apply it to something. All you do is you invert the input. That's how you make Instant Wire applicable. And you can actually connect this piston to other pistons. So the idea you would use with this is that here's your input, and this would be kind of like a repeater. Okay, and 1 second. This is how I did it, really. Alright, if you wanted to make this applicable to what you're actually using, then what you'd have to do is this. You invert your input, and you invert the output. But if you're only using one of the instant wires, like this right here, if you're only using one of them, then you don't need to invert the output. So like this, if it's on, it's on, if it's off, happens instantly. I don't need to invert it. But if I do it like this, so for example, with practical use, you would make this travel 15 blocks until it ran out of redstone, and then a normal person would just drop a repeater. If they were really smart about it, they put a block, a repeater, then a block to save 2 pieces of redstone. But if you want a really fast thing, then all you have to do is put a block, and then put a piston, and then put a block of redstone, and you can lead it on more. And it will retract instantaneously, updating this redstone as soon as it retracts. So there's no delay in between that. Even though it may look like there is, but there's not. So we're going to bring it all the way back. Alright, going to run that into a block to save some space. Because it does create lag. That's the only problem. Lag, and it takes twice as long to shut off. So there we have it. Now we just invert the output. And boom. Within 2 ticks, which only, by the way, come from the torches, it will shut off instantly, because without the torches, we have proved that it will shut off instantly. So that is Instant Wire. This was kind of short, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a rating, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos.